All right, now let us have a look on this another great vessel known as the aortic arch. Now, it's important to know that the aortic arch is a small ascending. Sorry, the we are looking at the ascending aorta. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's start with the ascending aorta. So it's important to note the fact that the ascending aorta is it's quite a small part of a larger thoracic vertebra. So as you can see here laterally, so we can see that the thoracic aorta extends all the way. This entire aorta is just it's made with three parts. So we have the ascending aorta, and then we have the descending aorta here, we have the ascending aorta and the aortic arch. So this is quite a long structure. So starting with the ascending aorta, this is quite a small structure that's about 5 centimeter in length right here. So this structure here is about 5 centimeter in length, and you can see that if you look at the position of the structures approximately at the level of the at the second rib, right toward second, third intercostal space, right towards the left side here. And it projects obliquely towards the left in order to form the arch. So it goes like this. So it goes towards the left, forms the arch, goes down, and approximately at the level of the second and the third intercostal space. Anteriorly, you can also find the sternum, and it's also important to note that there are two main bifurcations that people tend to forget about them. So these are the coronary arteries. So we can see right here the right coronary arteries, which is visible, and behind we can see that there's a left coronary artery that's quite it's difficult to see, but it's there. So two of the arteries come off of the base of the ascending aorta. Next thing we have to know is the function. Functionally, the main job of this aorta is to just carry all of the deoxygenated blood that comes from the left ventricle. So remember the fact that the left side of the heart is the main component, is the main part that pumps in all of the oxygenated blood from the lungs and to all the parts of the body. So from the aorta, it goes to the brachiocephalic. For example, it goes to the branch here, and then, for example, the brachiocephalic trunk, and it goes to the coronary arteries, and then it goes to subclavian artery, and then it also moves upwards to the coronary arteries too, the carotid arteries, I'm sorry. So that's one aspect. So that was like the general description of it. Moving on towards the relations. Now it's important to know, we already know the inferior relations here, that's the coronary artery right here. The second thing that we can notice is the fact that towards the left, it's closely associated with the pulmonary trunk, which is also the anterior relation. So mostly the infundibulum of the pulmonary trunk, and then the pulmonary trunk, and then we have the aortic bulb, the infundibulum of the pulmonary trunk, and anteriorly we also have the entire pulmonary trunk. The conus arteriosus is the starting point of the pulmonary trunk. That's another thing. Now, towards the left and posteriorly, we have the superior vena cava right here. And there's another main component that we can see on the anterior side that's known as the thymus. So it's quite important to know because people tend to forget. Because usually when we talk about great vessels, we tend to think that the great vessels might be in close association with the other great vessels, but here we can also notice the organ known as the thymus right here. So that's the thymus, and the other thing that we can see is the fact that in the vicinity of the aortic arch, of the ascending aorta, we also have the right and the left principal bronchus. They're not quite closely related, but it's sort of just there, and it's important to know that they are in relation with the principal with the ascending aorta. Now that another thing is that we have towards the left we have the left atrium, and towards the right we have the right atrium. So those are the right and left relation. But another important right and left relation is the pleura of the lung. So it's, more importantly, the left pleura of the lung here is in close association, and also the fibrous and the serous pericardium, because both the pulmonary trunk and the aortic arch is covered by the fibrous and the serous pericardium. Lastly, it is important to throw in the aorticopulmonary bodies, but I'm not sure what exactly an aorticopulmonary body is, but the aorticopulmonary window is something that I can explain. So it's basically a window or a small connection between a small space between the pulmonary. So it's situated somewhat right here between the ascending aorta and the pulmonary trunk. We have a small space known as the aorticopulmonary window. That's quite important to know. So just keep it at the back of your head that there's an aorticopulmonary window here.